Good morning, boys, on a Tuesday. How we feeling?
Good, Winger. What's going on, man?
Jets, okay.
Oh, God.
Let me down. Terrible Monday Night Football game. Okay. It's unbelievable. Just a terrible football game. Had them +4. Okay.
All three of y'all went for the Jets.
I mean, you just thought, okay? And the Jets, again, once you're a Jet, you're always a Jet, okay? Aaron Rodgers, okay, but the rest of the team is awful. Okay. Robert Saleh, okay. Terrible as head coach. Terrible as head coach.
No, that was bad, man. That
Anthony Mason, though, second life here. He's a phenomenal football player.
Yes, sure.
Isn't that who that was?
Jordan Mason.
Yes.
Oh, not the guy from the Knicks?
No, old timer, and he's dead.
He is.
Yes. Here's Shay Norling.
Sorry.
My
Mason
God.
family.
You know what? I was going to do this a little later, but since we're all a little angry at the New York Football Jets after last night, let's just start with this. Robert Saleh, entering year 4 now, is 18-34 as head coach of the New York Football
Dead
Jets.
man walking, kid.
That's the question I got for you. If they miss the playoff shot or no shot, Robert Saleh is being ejected out of a cannon at MetLife.
He's gone. Out. Out.
I just have never seen a guy that looks the part that's even less than Cap. He looks like a head coach, doesn't he? He looks the part.
He does.
He's built of granite.
He does.
He's a good-looking man.
He is.
And just, it's one of these things, Cap, when you're on a date and on the other side of the table is Robert Saleh and you're a woman, you're saying, ooh, look what I'm going out with, Robert Saleh. And then he opens his mouth. Oh, God. If you're a woman, you just said, just look pretty. Don't say anything. We don't want to hear your garbage thoughts. Holy smokes.
Not good.
That's just what it is. You
Not
see Robert, you see
good.
him walk into a room. It's Robert Saleh. Oh my God. And then he opens his mouth and then he coaches the football team. Just the worst.
Remember the scene of 40-Year-Old Virgin where he walks up to the speed dating tables?
Yeah.
And there's that gorgeous, statuesque blonde. And then she speaks like, and you're like, oh, sounds like Lyle Dean from WGN 30 years ago. What?
You're on a date with Robert Saleh. Deal breaker?
But as long as we're not talking football, sure. It's okay. Just bad.
Take it from a bald guy. He must run a razor over his head every 15 minutes because there is no way you can keep your head that smooth. No way. Dude, I shaved it yesterday and I can already feel stubble. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Watch more film. Quit shaving your head.
He used magic shave.
Oh, that thing stinks.
Nonstop all day, shaving his head.
Yeah, he's like, just, what's going on in there? Just shaving my head again.
Shave your head. While it stinks, it's magic shave. Wow. Here's Shane Orland.
It's funny. I brought this up on Twitter last night that Saleh is 18-34. And of course, the Bears fan that hates Eberflus just has to weigh in. Well, Eberflus, he has a worse winning percentage. Yeah, duh. He's only coached for 2 seasons, and they were both bad years on a rebuilding team. It is a totally different situation. It's all about this year. I don't, shot or no shot. Eberflus has a better chance to become Chicago Bears version of Dan Campbell than Jets Robert Saleh this year.
That's a shot. And whoever wants to stay on that island for Robert Saleh, enjoy that island by yourself. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's set up for Eberflus to have a successful season, not necessarily the Jets.
Shit.
All right, the trade with Carolina just keeps getting worse for the Panthers and better for the Bears. In exchange for Bryce Young, just to whiteboard it, who looks beyond saving as a quarterback, the Bears got DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, Caleb Williams, and a second-round pick this year. That second-round pick is now the key because the Panthers went and got flatlined by the Saints in the opener, and then things got really bad. Panthers star defensive lineman Derek Allen tore his meniscus and is done for the year. Now there's a really good chance Panthers are once again going to be the worst team in the NFL, and the Bears could get the 33rd pick in the draft out of this same trade.
Let's
shot
go.
or no shot. This is already a top 3 trade in NFL history for Ryan Poles.
Yeah, shot.
No question.
Shot. Absolutely. Now, again, everything's got to play out. Like, Caleb has to be good. DJ has to take the contract extension and be a really good player with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, on paper right now, wow.
Guys, we know the bad organizations when we see them. You know who they are. You change ownership, you change the GM, you change the head coach, but you're still the Carolina Panthers. I mean, this is what it is. Cap, you know when you see them. They tried to move heaven and earth to try to get better. And unfortunately, they got Bryce Young. That's what they chose because of Alabama. They're like, you know what? He was coached by Nick Saban. He'll break the mold of Alabama quarterbacks. He'll be Cap.
Well, the big story was, I told you this. I was told by someone who would know that they flew down on David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, plane. And it was Scott Fitterer, then the GM. He's out now. David Tepper and Frank Reich and whoever else they had. And Tepper went into Saban's office. Yeah, you guys stay out here. He had a one-on-one for like an hour and a half with Nick Saban. And he convinced him, you got to take Bryce Young, not CJ Stroud. Uh-oh.
Should have considered that Nick Saban is a great evaluator of college talent.
Yeah.
Let's look at the one-loss record in the National Football League. Might want to ask someone else.
Well, reportedly, the GM he fired, Fitterer, wanted CJ Stroud.
Right.
And the owner overruled. Okay, it's his toy. He can do that. But if you're paying a football man, why don't you let him make the football decisions?
That's correct. However, having said that, Bryce Young, being with Carolina fits. If you have the quarterback for Houston, CJ Stroud, in a Carolina Panthers uniform, you'd just be another bad player with Hello Kitty on his helmet.
Yep.
He wouldn't be as good as he is right now.
Correct.
Because it's about talent around him. There was enough talent around him to galvanize that team to get to the playoffs last year.
Correct.
Imagine CJ Stroud with Carolina.
Imagine if Poles had not made the trade.
Hello, Kitty.
Wow. Imagine if Poles hadn't made the trade. They got talked into taking Bryce Young. If his owner, if George said, I want you to take Bryce Young.
Oh, God, can you imagine?
Well, just look what wouldn't be on your team. No Darnell Wright.
Mm-hmm.
No DJ Moore. No Tyreek Stevenson. No Caleb Williams. No second-round pick next year. Holy cow. You'd be the worst team in football.
Under Teddy Phillips, that would have happened. Here's Shea Norling.
Wow.
All right, over the weekend.
What did I say wrong?
God, you just painted a picture, and I'm so glad that we don't have to watch Bryce Young every weekend.
Ugh.
Oh, my God. That would be terrible.
It's just horrible.
Over the weekend, Tyreek Hill was stopped by police and cuffed on his way to the Dolphins game. Body cam footage has since been released, but I want to go a different direction with this for now. Shot or no shot, Tyreek Hill scoring an 80-yard touchdown the day of his arrest was cooler than Scottie Scheffler firing a 5 under par the day of his arrest.
I don't know if it's cooler. They're both cool because that video is so disturbing to watch. I called my wife over and said, hon, do me a favor. Watch this video. I have my thoughts. Please watch this. She's like, okay, those police officers are out of their minds. Again, was Tyreek 100% in the right? Absolutely not. And if he was supposedly reckless driving, throw the book at him for whatever the penalty is for that. Fine, whatever it is. They ask you to put your window down, put the window down. You yank him out of the car, put a knee in his back, bend his arms into the cuffs, and then another guy comes over and gives him a headlock and shoves him to the ground. Dude, those guys should not keep their job, period.
To answer your question directly, Shea, Scheffler getting arrested and firing a 5 under par on the same day is more of a accomplishment. And here's why. Because he was booked. That's why.
True. He sat in a cell.
Because he had to sit. He took the picture, the mugshot, sat in the cell, and then went back out there and shot a 5 under.
Did he not stretch in the cell? Remember he was doing his golf stretching?
Yes, he was doing
get ready.
He was doing his little Johnny Carson. He was doing that.
And then he was on the ground doing stretches to get loose.
His little Johnny Carson golf swing. And then I think that's more impressive. Talking about the issue at hand. It's a long conversation, but because I know we got around the NFL here around the corner, but I just want to say that once again, overzealous cops. Once again, an incident like that's shown on video shows you that we are not beyond a cop being overzealous and being over the top on an individual, whether it's Tyreek Hill or anyone else. For all the great cops that are out there, those that are there to serve and protect, there's also those that feel like that they can overpower any situation just because. The video tells the story. Thank goodness we have the video today to be able to illustrate everything that's going on. That body cam footage came out less than 24 hours after the incident. Less than 24 hours. Tyreek Hill, if he was speeding, you give him the ticket and you keep it moving. Do you open the car door, yank him out of it, put him on the pavement, face first? And then Calais Campbell, who was a concerned teammate and citizens, like, hey, anything I can do here? No, you're going to put the cuffs on him too. His teammates are trying to help him. Here's the problem. When you're African-American, when you are anybody in that situation, it is very difficult to be able to say, hey, man, I know that I was in the wrong. And you feel like that you are helpless because, yeah, you're in the wrong, but do you deserve that treatment? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And as you well know, Ariana Preston was a terrific police officer who died, who was murdered on her lawn. I have 3 police officers, one a former sheriff that's been in my family, Cap. So I love police. I'm not anti-police, but I am anti-jackaloon that feels like that they could just be law and order and just do whatever they want to citizens. That's not right.
Oh, it was a gut-wrenching video to watch. If he was reckless driving or speeding, give him the ticket. Absolutely. You yank him out, face first, shove him down on the ground, bend his arms back, cuff him, stand him up, and go, sit down. And he puts him in a headlock. Dude, it was unconscionable. And for people that you mentioned, Ariana, for people that don't know, that was Hoodie's first cousin, the police officer that was murdered. Just horrific circumstances. So, yes, you do have several law enforcement officers in your family.
And again, love police. But in that situation, once again, why be over the top? Even if you didn't know who Tyreek Hill is, just say he's just Tyreek Hill, Miami, Florida resident. Was that necessary?
No.
It was not. But the film tells everything.
It does.
It does. Because before, it's something that would be written in the paper. There was no video. So you just had to go by what was written. But you saw it.
Right. And then the one police officer, when Calais Campbell is 6'9", 315.
Yeah.
And when he is standing there and he's calling, I think it was him who was calling Drew Rosenhaus, the agent for Tyreek Hill. Drew, they're beating on Tyreek. They've got him in handcuffs. You got to get here. And the cop says, okay, that's it. You're going to jail. What? What did he do? He's standing on a sidewalk.
If it was that egregious, why didn't Tyreek Hill go to jail?
Correct.
That's the other part of it, right? If it was that bad, like if you thought that he was, and by the way, if you watch the video, it wasn't like Tyreek was trying to get away. He's the fastest man I know. He wasn't trying to run away from the situation. Nope. And you listen to, I saw him on ABC with a sit-down interview. I've seen him interviewed in other places.
CNN.
He's been right there in the middle, just talking about saying, hey, and I just want to be, I'm a good person, trying to be a better person. I understand that the cops have have a right to be able to do what they have to do in law enforcement. He understands serve and protect, but in that situation, that's over the top. And by the way, the Miami police officer, the Miami police feel that same way too, because one of them is on administrative leave.
Yeah, I think the one that was out of his mind, grabbing him in a headlock. I think he's been taken off the street.
Yeah, was it administrative leave or administrative duty? I think they have him pushing papers for a little while.
Brutal.
Just wrong. It's just absolutely wrong. And you think about it, Cap, all the situations that we've talked about, from George Floyd and going backwards, it happens all the time. It happens too much. For all the great officers, you get nonsense that happened on Sunday.
Awful.
So if he was speeding, fine. Give him the ticket. Keep it moving.
Completely agree.
But making a scene out of all of it, like he was trying to escape or like he was unwilling, that wasn't the case. I can go on TikTok right now and show you, citizens that are unwilling to comply with the police. That's not what happened with Tyreek Hill. Absolutely not.
Correct.
It's sickening to watch, and it happens way too often.
Yep.
Around the NFL, next on